This video is by Sandman of Terra, the most powerful guardsman in the Imperium.
Arcadian Leontus is the High Commander of the Astra Militarum forces in Segmentum Solar, the segmentum that contains Terra itself. In fact, the protection of the Throne World is considered by the Lord Solar to be his
Dope. His drip. Fabulous. Fantastic.
greatest duty. However, when he was truly needed, when Terra itself was threatened by hordes of cornate demons, he was not there. Away on campaign, by the time he returned to Terra, the Throne World had already been saved and the demons vanquished. For this, the Lord Solar can never forgive himself, for he sees this as a great failing and now seeks redemption in the eyes of the Emperor. When the Great Rift opened and the Blood God's hordes invaded Terra, they faltered when a revived Rabute Guilliman, the new Lord Commander of the Imperium, led the defenders in a counterattack. And now his Imperium.
Can I just say, I wish I could like show you, but like the way he's standing, it's almost, this art piece, it almost makes it look like he's got like, he's being sassy. I think it's specifically the way this chest piece, how it lays in comparison to his torso. Yeah, like he's like sticking out his chest a little bit. Yeah.
Led the defenders in a counterattack. And now his Indomitus crusade seeks to push back against the forces that assail his father's realm. Guilliman's directives depleted the Militarum Regimentos at Leontus's command, and they had already suffered greatly in recent years. Billions of soldiers were lost due to warp storms, combat attrition, or calamities unknown. As challenging as this is for the Lord Commander Solar, he would never go against the directives of the Primarch, and operates carefully within their parameters to ensure he emerges victorious from his many political battles with planetary lords, Navis Imperialis admirals, and Officio Logisticarum adepts. Accompanied by a veritable army of strategios, priests, adepts, and aides, his immense diplomatic and martial skills.
Some serious atrophy. Gross.
Make him appear everywhere at once. Hailing from one of Terra's noblest families, one with a peerless lineage of service dating back countless generations, Leontus is a product of Terra's opulent spires and greatest military academies. Therefore, he is well versed in the necessary skills required to survive on and off the battlefield.
I would really hope so.
He has been known to bargain, charm, threaten, and even duel to expedite the mustering of the might of the Imperial Guard. Leontus has led campaigns far from Terra. He has even struck out beyond his remit. He uses the example of Saint Macarius to justify extending this far. A previous Lord Commander Solar, the conquests of Macarius led him to the edge of galactic space, and the Macarian Crusade brought nearly 1,000 worlds under Imperial control within only 7 standard years of fighting. Leontus believes, as did Macarius, that prosecuting wars far from Terra may be necessary for the protection of the Throne World. The birth world of humanity is now in danger once again, as the core systems are now potentially in reach of the hive mind. The Tyranids, High Fleet Leviathan, invade the Imperium from the western reach.
Dude, I will say, High Fleet, blah blah blah. High Fleet Leviathan is like scary. I am reading Valador, which is it's an elf book, Eldar book, Eldar book, and dude, they're terrifying. They are terrifying, and I'm grateful because I think High Fleet Kraken is about to get, like, you know, their butt kicked. But like, oh gosh, I know more about the Tyranids than I want to know now.
Of Segmentum Pacificus. Still seeking atonement, Leontus vows that he will be pivotal in their defeat. If you plan on aiding the Lord Solar against the Tyrannid threat, you may be interested in the sponsor for today's video. Starforged wanted me to feature their Deathcore of Krieg Siege
I have this bag. 10 out of 10. Sorry.
Regiment backpack. An officially licensed Warhammer product, it is perfect for anybody who seeks to bring the Emperor's wrath down on the enemies of the Imperium, or someone who needs a convenient storage option for their laptop, lunch, or other possessions. With more pockets than you can shake your shovel at, you've got plenty of space to store your spare lasgun power packs, ensuring that you'll never run out of ammo against the Xenos menace. Alternatively, if you find yourself with some spare time...
Oh, I thought this was the bottom of the bag for a second. I was like, wait, it has a bottom flap? What?
In the trenches.
Look at those nice
and
books.
Enjoy miniature wargaming, then this is the backpack for you. Turn
It's
up
a
to the
great
gaming
bag.
table in style and strike fear into the hearts of your enemies as you demonstrate that you easily have enough storage space for your rulebooks and other necessities. Its fantastic construction makes it perfect for daily use or travel, whether by plane or Gloriana class battleship. And whether you wear a trench coat and gas mask in public or not, you will...
Maybe don't do that. I feel like the cops will be very upset if you do. Maybe, just maybe, I wouldn't, man. Just, you know.
Look incredibly sharp, representing the 101st Siege Regiment.
Where is
My
this?
favorite feature about the backpack
Where is this
is that it
location?
comes
It's
with an
cool.
adhesive area prepared for Velcro and 2 alloy metal fittings for you to attach. The first is your 101 Siege Regiment's digital name tag, which will have your unique number. The second is, of course, the winged skull of the Imperium of Man. So check out...
My only critique is that this comes off easily. Like, if that little bit catches on anything, it, like, the Velcro comes off.
The link to it
But
in
it's
my
really
description,
cool.
and links to other amazing officially licensed Warhammer products produced by Starforged. Initially, there were few within the Imperium who recognized Leviathan for the true danger that it posed. However, word from the eyes of the Emperor reached Captain General Trajan Valoris of the Adeptus Custodes. He immediately petitioned the other High Lords of Terra to respond, for 2 tendrils of High Fleet Leviathan on parallel paths would reach the Segmentum Solar if not halted. And with this, the slow wheels of Imperial bureaucracy began to turn. Word from refugee boats, astropathic screams, and intercepted vox fragments started to come through, and the truth, the full extent of the horror, was put together. Valoris and others organized the Soul Blades, small rapid response fleets who operated with great autonomy to harry the foe wherever possible. Meanwhile, Lord Solar Leontus worked tirelessly to muster the ponderous might of the Astra Militarum. The desperate hopes that the Soul Blades would deliver victory were soon dashed. A third tendril attacked, spearing through the galactic plane without warning and bypassing the bulk of the Soul Blades entirely.
I honestly thought this video was just going to be general information about him and not history. Oh, rip this guy.
And bypassing the bulk of the Soul Blades entirely. Grendulus headed for the Bastion subsector, where Leontus himself resided, as well as the colossal battle station, Phalanx of the Imperial Fists. Whoa. Outwardly, Leontus and his advisors were as bellicose as any in this respect. However, privately, they counselled pragmatism before hope. Mass mobilization, fortification, and armament were carried out throughout the subsector. Nevertheless, it was clear, Bastion would fall if it stood alone. the Lord Solar enacted the Sanctuary Protocol. Powerful astropathic distress calls were sent echoing away through the Imperium. The signals were so strong
Death by
that
bug is probably not the worst.
died
Oh,
upon
you're probably
receiving
right about
the
that.
messages. For the defenders to stand a chance of victory, urgent and considerable reinforcement would be required. In the meantime, Leontis had any loyalist forces in the Bastion subsector fall back to designated sanctuary systems. Going forward, all would be commended for whatever time their courageous sacrifices would buy. With luck, it would prove enough to allow fresh Imperial forces to arrive and tip the balance against the Tyranid menace. The most significant battle of the Bastion subsector was that for the planet of Sanctum, homeworld to the White Templars chapter. Here, the experience and foresight of the Lord Solar and his command staff proved their worth. Knowing of the effect
Astropaths, they die a lot. It's a lot of mental strain and psychic strain. They do not have a long life expectancy.
Of the shadow in the warp and how fear would spread ahead of the Tyranid advance. Prepared vid recordings and audio.
It even messes with Eldar too. The psychic nature, like Tyranids are kind of psychic in nature. Obviously they have some psychically, they got some bugs that use like psychic stuff. But like they straight up, like as like a whole big group, they project a ton of fear into their prey.
Sermons were distributed well ahead of the Tyranids' arrival, with strict orders that they be played and replayed once the Xenos assault began. Ecclesiarchal priests were also seeded throughout ranks far and wide. Their bellowed hymns combined with the wondrous oratory of Leontis and his most trusted allies. Speeches were constantly blasted through vid screens and over
gotta
the
get that
Vox.
propaganda going.
It was by no means a perfect solution, for the bark of the Commissar's bolt pistol was heard often. Yet, due to the actions of Leontis, many backs were straightened and jaws were set firm, as the servants of the God Emperor were reminded of their duties. Whilst the phalanx remained in orbit to annihilate any void beast that came near, the Lord Solar commanded from the White Templars' fortress monastery, hold fast. He applied every iota of his skill as a strategist to the unfolding battle. Leontis is noted for his unorthodox use of the tarot readers of the Collegiate Astralex, but they do seem to give the Lord Solar an impressive reaction speed to his foes' plans, even before the hive mind. When he wasn't standing over his holotable, directing troop movements and fire patterns, Leontis was touring the outer battlements and marshalling the troops of the Holdfast astride his cybersteed.
I was about to say, like, the horse is really cool. Constantine, very, very cool.
Constantine, a rare beast, decades old, now largely cybernetic and clad in gleaming armor. Leontis is kept at his physical peak by a healthy diet, regular exercise, suites of concealed bionics, and staggeringly expensive rejuvenate treatments. These have allowed Leontis to lead the Emperor's armies for over a century. And in the Battle of Sanctum, his experience was clear. He didn't even flinch as spore mines and raging spheres of bioplasma detonated against the void shields of the fortress monastery. From atop Constantine, he delivered rousing speeches, stark reminders of duty, and humble, heartfelt expressions of honor. Wherever Leontis rode, the spirits of human and post-human alike were raised. He continues to lead, armed with his pistol, Soul's Righteous Gaze, and his power sword, Conquest. And as he travelled, he was constantly hooked into the updated situation of the wider battle, all the while working relentlessly to outthink and outmaneuver the leader beasts of High Fleet Leviathan. Even the hive mind came to recognise the impact Leontis had. a trio of Norn emissaries, lethal monsters spawned for the most vital of objectives, were released.
Whoa.
One of these monsters was created with a singular purpose: to slaughter the Lord Solar. Eventually, it located him and went for the kill. If it wasn't for the timely intervention of Captain General Trajan Valoris,
I was gonna say, we're gonna get some friends.
The Lord Commander Solar would have been slain. The Golden Warriors managed to bring down the beast, but at great cost, as 5 of the custodians were killed. Valoris,
and that speaks to how like crazy strong the Norn emissaries are.
Had heard the call of the Sanctuary Protocol and had battled to Sanctum to relieve the beleaguered world. Many other Soul Blades had come also, battering their way through the blockade of bioships that surrounded the planet, their warriors racing to the world's surface to purge it of the Xenos invaders. These reinforcements turned the tide, and the Grendulous Tendril eventually recoiled from Sanctum. A desperate reprieve had been won, but the 4th Tyrannic War is far from over. The rank of Lord Commander Solar is a supreme honor afforded only to those capable of bearing the burdens that come with it. Arcadian Leontus is such a man. A polyhista, martial tactician, and war scholar of breathtaking ability, his incredible intellect and strategic brilliance allow him to excel in both military and political environments. This has been noticed even by the Great Devourer. Within him, however, endures a wariness of spirit, privately appalled at the horrors he sees perpetrated by the Imperium upon its own people. He has had to authorize many himself, having sent millions of Imperial Guardsmen into the most terrifying conditions. But Leontus knows such steps are a necessity on the path to ultimate salvation. A salvation that the Lord Commander Solar knows he is unlikely to ever see. And that is it for this video. Leontus is a pretty new but exciting character, so I can't wait to see what they do with his storyline. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe, and if you really enjoyed the video, you can click the join button on the page below.